Budget Garage. I'm Bart. This is day 2 of the Scout build, or at least day 2 to you guys. Today we're going to try to get through the exhaust. My muffler is on a FedEx truck on its way here. We're going to see how far we can get. If nothing else, I'll just mock it up with a straight pipe and try to get it routed over the frame. Sorry about the coughing. A little bit of a sniffles going on here. It's cold in the shop today. It should warm up here in a little bit, but we'll go ahead and get started. Video I showed the down pipe. This is going to be the bottom of the down pipe, should tie into it. We're going to get it laid up in there and just make sure it fits the way I expected. Sharpie. Alright, well, at least for me this is almost impossible to film, but there's our down pipe next to the transmission, dropping down. There it is, coming off the turbo, down under the body, and then straight pipe currently. Straight back, we will get a muffler there. So we're either going to try to come between the spring or just up over the top of the frame rail. This is the old fuel tank cavity. I can cut that out. But I'm going to come along the frame. Part of the problem is I do have a shock mount right here. Don't know if I want to come outside of it. It's getting me awful close to the tire. Probably going to have to go up over the fender and drop down. So we're going to see what happens. All right. It's been about an hour. I got a rough idea, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Up over the shock mount. Yeah, I'll try to get some better footage once I got it all clamped in there. Okay, I got the tailpipe mocked up. That will get cut off shorter and brought closer to the body. It's going to come up and over. I'm going to use another piece of straight pipe once I get it figured out, but another 45 in there, and then we'll jump across the top of the frame. Right now I'm going to get in there and cut out the old fuel tank box and make some room. So we're going to trim some of this inner fender out. The back side does contain the mid body mount. They're a little rough on this anyways, and we're never super stout, so I had been thinking about revamping them a little, so now I probably will for sure. I can tie them to the rear bulkhead behind the seat, which they already are, but give them some more structure. They're pretty lightweight mounts, so we're going to carve out what we need, and we'll worry about the body mounts later. I'm not going to get all the way into them. I'm just going to take enough to get my exhaust through there. That's our opening right there. Should give us room to put our exhaust right through there. Hope that comes out good. Okay, it's been a pretty ugly, non-productive exhaust day. Still waiting for FedEx to drop off my muffler. And I'm just not real happy with how things are turning out. I'm getting close, but I cut a 180 in half. Put a flange on it so I can swing this. It's going to be my jump over the frame rail, but it's too tall right now. I get over the frame rail, it's too high, so I'm going to cut the tacks off. I need to take 1.5 inches off of each of these. So I'm just using a carpenter's pencil and my square. Should be the 1.5 inches on each. 3, it should get us closer to the top of the frame rail. That or it's a $40 part. So I got both of my 180s trimmed off. It'll be a lot closer now. Give me this. Should be pretty close. And FedEx arrived. Haven't even opened it yet. So did a lot of debating on what to get for mufflers, did a lot of research, came up with nothing. You know, everybody says run a straight pipe, which I'm absolutely not gonna do. So I got, it's a true muffler, but I guess more or less a resonator, but stainless Northwestern exhaust. Actually has a baffle inside. So we're gonna give that a try and see what happens. Good morning. I don't even know where we left off. It's been probably a 1.5 weeks since I started the exhaust, and Thanksgiving happened, kids were in town. It's just been a wild deal. So gonna jump back in again. I think I mentioned earlier I'm having struggles actually getting good shots up underneath where I'm working. So probably just going to pull the stuff out and show you what it looks like after I've got the pieces fitted and laid out. So we're gonna start with that and see if we can't get through this today. All right, we're gonna try a little bit of this. This is where my exhaust is going to jump over the frame rail and come out to the inner fender. Right now, I'm just trying to get some marks on it equally. I have to cut this 90 off, but I also need to cut this off to where I can butt weld them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting some tape on the bottom of the exhaust. I'm going to mark it on both sides of the frame rail, and then I'm going to do the same with that other piece. And in theory, we should have identical marks, or close enough. Need my exhaust clamp. So in theory, that mark on that piece, if I cut the two off, should butt weld together. We will see. So I am going to show you this trick here. I have my lines corresponding to my lines marked. I'm going to move in 1.5 inches this way, 1.5 inches this way, so I can center that just about over the frame rail. I will probably end up cutting this piece off and sleeving that, so instead of a butt weld, it'll be just it'll be 2 lap welds. But it's probably an old trick for most of you, but if it's not, definitely something I like to share. So I put a mark in the center. This was my one side of the frame rail. This is my other. This is 1.5 inches from this line. I have the same one there. Well, I want to continue that mark all the way around. A lot of times I'll just wrap it with tape, but I can do that real easy with a slide square. Just slide that up, set it. It's on the line. Now I can use my slide square to move it all the way around and just make an equal mark all the way around. I apologize for using the carpenter's pencil, but somebody left my Sharpie cap off and it was all dried up, so I have to add that to the list of things we need to replace in the garage. And again, overlapping this with a sleeve. I could have really eyeballed that, but you may or may not be able to see that line, but just have a pencil line all the way around. Should be symmetrical. So we'll do the same on the other one. We'll get them cut off and dry fit it up. Okay, let's see if we can't get you a view of this fit up before I start tacking things in place. So the tailpipe coming out inside. We're gonna go up over outside the frame rail. Should be plenty of clearance above the shocks and should not interfere with the tires. We go down. We're gonna jump over the frame rail. And let's see if we can't get a picture of this. And get our muffler. Yeah, I'm gonna tack it all up. I'll pull it out and get the welder dialed in. Try to turn it down. My heat's a little high right now for what we're doing. And we'll start stitching this thing up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and film some of this now that I've got the welder set up where I like it. So of course it's stainless steel exhaust. I'm gonna get a lot of flack from some of you. I'm using mild steel wire. I do use 75-25 gas, 75% argon. And I pulse weld it somewhat because I don't want to burn through, because I am running the temp up a little bit, but also trying to control the temperature a little bit. But turns out pretty good. I know it's less than ideal, but I'm just not set up for welding stainless. So and like any good YouTuber, I get to only show you the nice welds. So, turns out pretty good. I do use my light. It helps me when I'm using my welding hood. Just putting a little extra light on there, so when in between pulses, I get a better visual. I do that quite a bit, especially under vehicles and stuff. I never used to have to do that, of course. Age does that too, guy. But gonna finish stitching the rest of this up, and we'll go ahead and show it to you after it's all put back together. One thing you do get with the mild steel wire is quite a bit more dingleberries. Part of that's the pulse welding, part of that is the dissimilar metals, but we'll clean it up when we're done. It'll look just fine. All right, we still got a lot of cleanup to do for, well, I call them dingleberries, but overall, I'm pretty happy, I think. Still need to build some brackets, but came together pretty good. And 3-piece, so it should be easy to get in and out. Ultimately, I'll probably end up wrapping the downpipe, but that's what a $275 eBay special stainless exhaust looks like. So we'll see how it works. It's a shame I got to wait so long to hear it run, but. So I didn't like the clearance between the header or the turbo downpipe and the transmission bell housing, so I'm going to put a dimple in it, see what happens. That's going to work just right. Okay. We're going to try to get some shots under this thing. No exhaust hangers in yet, but on the exhaust. Hopefully this edits together pretty good. Really hard to shoot this video underneath and not being on a lift, but that's the challenge of having just a little garage. Overall pretty happy with how it turned out. I think just need to put some exhaust hangers on. I'll work on some of those brackets here and there. I think our next video we're going to mount up the fuel tank and cut the hole in the back and do the fuel filler neck. Just trying to get stuff ready so I can get this body off. This little project kind of reminded me of something that my dad used to say that was a saying his dad used a lot. And it's, never use a bolt when a weld will do. So kind of going to be the motto, I think, on this project. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and God bless. Have a great week.